Hey guys, Cat72 here. Hope everyone's doing well. Today I want to do something else to the Kia Soul, it's a 2013 model that I have. I kind of like that heavy stance look on most cars. It gives it kind of like that wider stance on the wheelbase. So what we're going to go over today is putting some wheel hubs on the Kia. These are specifically made by ECCPP. I'll put the link in the description. I just kind of want to go over what they look like. I'm going with 1 inch. I feel that's going to give it a more broader stance. But there's a couple of things I want to mention before doing this. When you do wheel spacers, there's a huge controversy whether or not they're safe or unsafe. I honestly feel that they're safe to a certain extent. I don't think anything beyond 1 inch. I mean, you could probably do 1.5 inches at the most. Anything beyond that, you're now counterbalancing the weight of the wheel to the actual lug nuts that are embracing the hub itself, the wheel spacer to the actual hub that the factory has installed on the vehicle, and that could lead to structure stability and therefore causing the wheel spacer to crack. So long story short, in my honest opinion, I think 1 inch on a wheel spacer on a vehicle is probably the maximum you want to do. I mean, of course there'll be others that say you can do a lot more. All I can say is take that at your own risk. So what I like to go over first of all is the product. I got these from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description like I said before. These are made by ECCPP. They're packaged pretty well. This is what they look like. They got two versions of it. They've got like a silver or aluminum, and then you've got a black style. I like the way they package these. That's why I wanted to show you guys. They come pretty well packaged. They come in that styrofoam housing. This is what they look like. Like I said, this is the inch. They come with the lug nuts already pre-installed. Now these lug nuts are going to be used to hold the wheel spacer to the hub, and the ones for the actual wheel will be what you're going to use for the actual wheel. These are only for the holding the spacer in place. Anyway, they come with the packed together. One comes on one side, the other comes on the other side. And that's what we're going to do today, guys. I went with the 1 inch, like I said. That's going to give it a broader appearance, a broader stance, a more aggressive look. We'll see how that works out. But here's one of the key factors in doing this. You always want to go with the recommended foot-pounds torque on those studs to hold that wheel. You don't want to over exceed that. If you over exceed the amount of pressure that's holding those lug nuts on the wheel, you can compress the rotor. The wheel spacer itself, and cause hairline fractures or even cracking the entire wheel spacer itself, therefore causing a terrible mishap. So what I recommend is, I didn't have one, so I actually went to Harbor Freight. I bought this one for 20 bucks. Now on the 2013 Kia Soul, by factory, the recommended foot-pounds of torque for the lug nuts is between 70 to 80 pounds. This one here specifically goes up to 80 pounds. So this is why I went ahead and got I purchased it. If you're going to do these, I highly recommend getting a torque wrench. That way you're not just guessing at how much torque to put on your lug nuts to hold the wheel and attach itself to the wheel spacer. For those of you that aren't familiar with a torque wrench, basically this is what it looks like. It basically is a compression of pressure applied by this adjustment, and depending on what your torque is, you would turn the knob and adjust it accordingly. And then when you torque down on the actual, in this case the lug nut, once you hear that click, that'll tell you, okay, you've reached the the foot-pound torque specifications that you're requesting. But I highly recommend using one of these guys. Don't risk it, please. I guess you can consider this a disclaimer. I'm doing this on my vehicle because I feel confident enough. I've researched it and studied it, and I know pretty much what I'm doing at this point. So like I said, that's what we're going to do today, guys. We're going to install these 1-inch wheel spacers on the Kia Soul 2013, and we're going to see how it looks afterwards. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I'm sorry for the background noise. I've got some roofers across the street at the neighbor's house doing some roofing. I've got again, these Lucas or Chichatas making all these sounds. I know it's sometimes irritating, so I apologize for that. But anyway, that's what we'll be doing. I hope you enjoy, guys. Okay, guys, what I want to do first off is show you what the factory outlook is on the wheelbase. And as you can see, it's just about shy of about 1/4 of an inch from the frame of the vehicle, right in that general area. So this is before, and then we'll see what it's going to look like after. Like I said, I think it's going to give it a much better appearance. It'll have more of an aggressive look, in my opinion, and that's kind of what I'm aiming for. I just like that wide wheelbase look to it, you know what I mean? And then here's the other side. Again, that's what you're looking at factory, pretty much right there. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this going. Okay, guys, as you can see, I'm in my backyard, and I watered the other day just a little bit, so the ground was moist, so I had to use some plywood, 3/4 inch plywood in layers of 2 to compensate for holding the jack up properly on the jack stand. Make sure that's always secure before working on your vehicle. I also want to mention that you want to go with a steel brush and just clean the rotor from any dust or brake dust or any debris that might be on there, because you don't want that to be an interference with the actual wheel spacer and the rotor itself. I almost would suggest spraying a little bit of WD-40 on here just to keep it from seizing down the line, but in all honesty, it should just be fine as is. These are fairly clean. There's not a whole lot of rust buildup, so I think we're going to be good. And besides, every now and then, I don't know what the intervals would be, but I would say probably every 6 months, just double check the wheels, make sure that actually check the wheel spacer, take the wheels off and make sure these bolts are still pretty tight. I would say every 6 months, and at that point you can check to see the binding situation, if there's any, and that can eliminate this from seizing onto the actual rotor itself. So yeah, I'd say every 6 months, take your wheels off and just double check the mounting bolts on the wheel spacers, make sure they're still snug and tight according to spec. which we know for the 2013 Kia is 80 foot-pound torque, just to keep everything safe. Let's see here. Man, it's hot today, guys. That's why I had to come park the Kia in the back of the house, because we've got a pecan tree which gives us quite a bit of shade. You know, lately here in Texas, San Antonio in particular, it's been about 103, 105, 106 back to back, so it's just really tough with the heat. So pretty much you just want to get these finger tight, and then, like I said, we're going to come back with our torque wrench and we'll go ahead and compress these down to 80 foot-pounds of torque. I've already set mine up. Actually, I got mine at 75. I didn't want to do the full 80 because it said factory standard is between 70 to 80 foot-pounds of torque. So because these are aluminum, I'm not going to go full blown. I'm just going to take it up to 75 foot-pounds of torque. So here's going to be the tricky part, is that if you're going to be trying to torque it, it's going to obviously be moving on you. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pry it, and with the pry bar. So guys, I found a better way to lock the hub. I'm sorry, to lock the rotor. I pretty much just wedged my pry bar into one of these grooves on the inside of the rotor, and therefore it hits the caliper and basically stops the rotor from turning. It was difficult for me to hold the pry bar and try to press the recommended amount of pounds of pressure on this wrench at, excuse me, at the same time. So this just made it a little bit easier, just in case you guys were wondering a better way. And then I wanted to do that so that I can demonstrate the click that you would hear. So this is actually what you want to hear when you reach that recommended amount of torque. There, that click, that's the click. That one right there. And in my case, the wrench keeps getting lodged on there. So I just pretty much take a little hammer and tap it and it'll come off. And let me just set it up again and pry it. Good. And one last one. All right, good. So all my wheel spacer lug nuts are set to proper torque specification. So now we're going to go ahead and attach the tire as we normally would. And again, you want to use the original lug nuts that were recommended for the tire, not the opposite way around. Don't use the ones that are recommended for the wheel spacers. And then I just want to get this started so I could start torquing it down to specification. Again, I'm going to use the torque wrench just so that way everything's set up properly and I don't have to worry about, like I said earlier in the video, compression causing hairline fractures in the wheel spacer. And I highly, again guys, recommend you using the torque wrench. You always want to be safe when it comes to something like this, especially if you're messing with your wheels, because there's only two things between you and the road, honestly, and that's your wheels and the road itself. And then it's the same scenario once we get these finger tight. Go ahead and I'm going to use this T-bar just to get it going, and then I'm going to lower the vehicle and then I'll continue with the torque specifications. Alright, those are all finger tight. We're going to drop it down a bit. I'd say that's good enough for now, just so that we can get it torqued. There's the first click. That's the other. And there we go. Forgot to get my jack stand out. And there we have it. We got one wheel done, guys. So let's see how it stands out. Now bear in mind, I do have the wheel kind of angled at this position. Let me straighten it out so we can get a real good look at how it's going to stick out on the side here. There you go. That's about where I wanted it to. Exactly. So that's perfect. So just to compare, here's your right driver's side, and here's the originals. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, guys. That's going to give it a much more aggressive look. So what I'll do now is I'll get all the other 4 on. There's no point in me wasting y'all's time recording pretty much what I already did on this one wheel with all the others. And then as usual, we'll do a once over, make sure everything's tight, make sure everything's in specification, and then we'll go ahead and do a little walk around. All right, guys. And so guys, here's the finished result. I like the way they came out. You know, I did want them to stick out just a tad bit from the frame, and as you can see, that's exactly what they're doing, and it doesn't look too bad. So I'm pretty happy with the results. Anyway, there it is, 1-inch spacers on a 2013 Kia Soul. All right guys, peace out.